I mean, the public school system was started by John Dewey 100 years ago. We survived without it for quite a while.
What was it? During the signing of the Constitution, which the Federalists strongly supported, they were part of federalism was having a strong central government.
But
I would say it sounds like
Federalists today would be like libertarians.
Okay,
just so
but that's
we're clear.
that's still a strong.
They wanted a
central
small
government.
but strong.
But
federal
strong
government.
central government still sounds like socialism to me. And
See, this is very sloppy intellectual thinking. That just because we want a police force, a border patrol, and we want clean streets, all of a sudden we become a socialist.
But those are still social
There is a
services.
spectrum between small and strong government and like Soviet-style communism.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about socialism.
Right.
And
so
as you
not,
define
not,
socialism,
not
is the
every
confiscation
form of
private
government
property.
is socialism. Would you acknowledge that?
No, I don't.
Hey my love, so you're welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Baby Harry First Reacts, and I'm back again for another Charlie Cake video. You guys know I so much respect Charlie Cake. He's a man of integrity. So guys, I have another one I'm gonna be reacting to. Charlie Cake goes off on Socialist who doesn't understand simple economy. I repeat, Charlie Cake goes off on Socialists who doesn't understand simple economies. Guys, I can't wait for us to watch this. I do not own any right to this content. I'm only reacting, right? So without further ado, without wasting much of our time, let's get right into this video, right?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Sorry, I assumed your gender. I
Yeah,
assumed,
no, you're good,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm not tripping. Yeah, so I was just agreeing with you said socialism is non-American. So what do you think is pro-American?
Well, let's define what socialism is, right? Socialism is the government confiscation of private property. It tends to be the rule of the few, not the many, even though they profess to say it's the rule of the many. But the American, let's just say, economic tradition is private property rights, markets with proper restraint, entrepreneurship, the ability to flourish, trade, create new products. Socialism disincentivizes almost all those things. Socialism is built largely on envy and greed. And hilariously, the people that push for socialism, the rank and file, they don't realize that socialism actually just creates an oligarchy. It doesn't actually create a strong middle class, what they allege, to want.
So do you believe in taxes?
Ideally 10% across the board. Yeah.
Okay, so you believe in the confiscation of people's private property?
At some point it depends on if it's private property income or if it's necessary to fund government services.
But that's still a confiscation with a gun through police if you don't pay.
At around 10% to fund public services,
yeah, but you just
the military.
Socialism as taking private
Well, hold on.
property.
The average tax rate in a socialist type environment, and even this country, is what, 55%?
Yeah, but I'm saying taxes in general. That's private property.
So
being taken
taxation
from
is
people who earn
theft.
that money.
I fully acknowledge a moderate form of something I hate in order to fund a government, police, firefighters, EMT as necessary.
But that's still government confiscating
of course
private
it is,
property,
yes.
which you said was socialism.
Yes, but you vote for it and you agree with it. I mean, I'm not an anarchist.
Why do I
never
agree?
have been.
Well, I'm an anarchist. I say any form of government existence is
that's
socialism.
Fine. Have you ever called the cops?
No, I don't believe.
Okay,
I don't
you ever
like
gone to
cops. They don't like me.
Okay, you ever gone to hospital?
No.
Okay, well, one day when you go to a hospital or you use the social service you
I'm
paid
saying
for.
you define socialism as a confiscation of private property, and you're saying that you
Well,
believe in taxes, which is a confiscation of private wages.
Let me go for the unreasonable confiscation of private property, the elimination of private property altogether. You can have a 10%
Well, that's
tax
communism.
rate.
That's not socialism.
Well, they can be conflated. One is a gateway drug to the other. I mean,
okay, but the middle ground
Lenin said
is
that socialism is a precursor to communism.
Okay, but
so.
they're still different. If it's a gateway drug,
they're
meth
both
is not weed.
garden varieties of Marxism. Would you agree?
I agree with that. But
right.
I'm saying weed is not meth, so let's talk about weed. That's still a confiscation. If you're saying it's a confiscation, of
one is better, one is worse, and one is
but if we're talking about socialism,
more lethal.
You defined it at the beginning as the confiscation of private property.
Yes, correct.
It's also collectivized use. Do you believe in public schools?
No, I mean, ideally, I think they should be more community-based and more volunteerism.
Okay, but you believe in them in some level, right?
Well, I mean, again, this is overly abstract and academic. We live in a society where we have government schools, we have public schools, so we could talk about what we want.
I know,
or
but,
what is
but
actually...
if we're talking about what is anti-American, what is pro-American, in the existence of what you say is American, would you say public schools are part of being American? Would you say that's
well,
part
no, they
of
are. I
America's
mean,
identity?
the public school system was started by John Dewey 100 years ago. We survived without it for quite a while.
What was it? During the signing of the Constitution, which the Federalists strongly supported, they were part of federalism was having a strong central government.
But
I would say it sounds like
Federalists
socialism
today
me.
would be like libertarians.
Okay,
just so
but that's
we're clear.
still a strong.
They wanted a
central
small
government.
but strong
But
federal
strong
government.
central government still sounds like socialism to me. And
See, this is very sloppy intellectual thinking. That just because we want a police force, a border patrol, and we want clean streets, all of a sudden we become a socialist.
But those are still social
There is a
services.
spectrum between small and strong government and like Soviet-style communism.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about socialism.
Right.
And
so
as you define socialism,
not
it's a
every
confiscation
form of
private
government is
property.
socialism. Would you acknowledge that?
No, I don't.
Okay, then.
But you define at the
that's
beginning
intellectually
of this.
lazy.
No, you defined at the beginning
No,
of this as
I-
social. You
and I've-
offered a definition.
I've
that
offered more
socialism was the
nuance to that.
confiscation
I will
of private
say
property.
it is the unreasonable confiscation of.
Well, what? How do we
of wealth.
quantify unreason?
That-
what is unreasonable?
That's up to the politics to do. I'd say anything above 10%.
Okay, well, how do you define? So
I
above
said 10%.
10%.
Where I get it from the Bible. Makes sense. 10% of what you earn, 10% of what you have goes to either to tithe or to God or to some sort of taxation system.
So just based
Again,
on
that's
the Bible,
my position. We can
your
disagree
position,
on that.
Okay, so your
But-
position is based only at 10%. At 11%, it's not socialism. It is socialism.
No, I'm not saying it's socialism. It gets close. It gets further away from
Then
what it is.
Where's
I mean,
the line? What is socialism?
What is the taxation line? How about
Yeah,
this?
if you're
Socialism is you cannot own the property that you desire.
But you're
And
talking
we're
about me
getting-
being intellectually
how about
lazy.
this?
I'm saying let's have a
So
stringent
let me
definition
actually
of
give you a
what is
real example.
socialism.
California is more socialist. Texas is less socialist. That's a
Okay.
spectrum.
But I want
Would
to
you
know
agree with
when
that?
does socialism begin and when does it end? And I'm saying you're
It-
saying
it's-
that some level
it's
of
not like
socialism
an entrance
is, but no, but
into
if you're
Narnia.
saying if you're
It's like
saying
I'm all of a sudden
socialism is
here.
anti-American, I'm saying
It's a
socialism
spectrum.
is a part of America.
Okay, so you
even
want to
if-
know when socialism begins and
Yeah.
when it ends?
Yeah.
When you leave the free state of Florida and
Okay,
you
but-
enter the unfree state of
What's
New York,
the tax rate in Florida then?
0.
No,
The income tax in Florida is 0.
You still have to pay taxes though.
Federal
You
taxes.
still have to pay federal
no
taxes.
no corporate
But if
income
it-
tax, no
but-
personal income tax.
But you still have to pay federal taxes. So if you have to pay taxes at all, it sounds like Florida's a socialist state.
So are you trying to say America's currently socialist?
Yes, that's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
I would agree. We're going more in that direction. So,
Okay, but then
but
you were saying that it's
socialism
not. You're
goes
saying Florida's not
socialism
socialist,
is
now you're
beyond
saying-
taxes, though.
But wait, you just said that America is socialist, but you said Florida's not socialist. So Florida's part of
Well,
America. That doesn't make sense.
Hold
to me.
on, but you pay 20% more taxes here in California than you do in Florida. Yes?
But they're both socialist.
No, but the federal project right now is more socialist than it is free market. Yes.
Okay, yes.
But in Florida, you get at least some gasp of liberty and freedom that you do not have. In California, if you're a top income earner, you're not paying 15% in addition to a 38% federal income tax rate. That's 53%. That is the government owns a majority of your labor.
Yeah.
So to be even more clear, the closer you get towards the government owning a majority of your labor and your goods, the further and further closer you get to socialism. California is that.
Yeah.
Now, I would love for the federal government to get rid of FICA tax, to get rid of, the excess income tax. I've been clear. I think 10% across the board, fine. We need a military. You might not agree. We need a police force. We need a border patrol. We need basic social services that are a safety net, not a hammock. But I do not believe in this over-the-top type taxation. If you want to talk about other types of taxation that everyone here is paying, it's inflation.
But-
when you borrow $2 trillion a year, you do not have, you're getting 10% poorer every single year. I'm going to get to the next question because you keep on saying the same thing over and over again. But
I'm just
final
saying,
point.
I don't understand how you can say that socialism is anti-American when even the most pro-American, I think as you would define, like would say Florida's pretty pro-American.
Yeah,
say
I mean, they have,
okay, but
they have
if-
no income tax.
But the thing is, if they still have taxation,
No, they have
if
they're part
taxation-
of the
if
federal government.
taxation is part of America, and it always has been.
But no,
Public
it
service has
hasn't.
always been part of
So
America.
since you're such a wise guy, how did we fund the government for the income tax?
Through taxation, but I say that's socialist.
Tariffs. We didn't have an income tax till 1917. So I'm going to get to the next person. You should do more studying on American taxation, and there's a
I think you
spectrum.
should define
not
socialism more
not every
strongly.
form of government.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. It's still charliekirk, and a socialist guy. Looking at this video, how do I start, or where do I start from? It's still charliekirk, and guys, please, before we get right into reacting to this, I just want to tell you guys that I do not own any rights to this content. Whenever you see me here on your screen, I'm only reacting and adding my own constructive comments and feedback, right? So all rights reserved to its rightful owner. Trust me. Thank you so much. Now back to this point of view. Now this is a socialist having some conversation with charliekirk, and looking at the conversation, you can actually tell that the guy was just trying to prove himself right. I don't know how I'm gonna put it, but he was just trying to prove himself right, and at the same time he was so eager enough to prove charliekirk wrong. Now when we talk about the socialists, I want us to come to understand what we understand by socialism. I think I'm gonna be taking you guys I'm gonna be taking you guys back to government. Yeah, government. It's part of government, and yeah, I'm gonna be taking you back to government. I'm really sure we did government in school, so I'm gonna be talking about what we understand by a socialist economy. Now, my dictionary tells me that a socialist economy is an economic system where the state controls the means of production, allocates resources, and plan economic activities to meet the need of the population. I repeat, a socialist economy is an economy where the state controls means of production. That is, now the means of production, the resources are being controlled by the state, and then they plan the economic activities on how to meet the needs of the population. And now, looking at what this guy was saying, it's I don't just want to say the guy was just he was speaking well, but at the same time, I think he was arguing a lot. Now, I see no reason why a government would tax its citizen 25% task, 30% task. I want us to look into this and let's ponder on this. Now, I hear a lot of people complaining about the taxes they pay in their economy, in their country, sorry, and they complain of how the taxes is on the high side, and then whenever the work at the end of the day, the all money is being thrown into taxes and there's nothing actually left for them. I don't want to talk too much, guys. I just want us to ponder on this and see. I need your comments in the comment section below. I don't know it all, so most times whenever I bring video right here, I need you guys to also comment and react with me. All right, so it's still your girl BB Hair First React, and you're welcome to my channel. We've come to the end of today's video. Don't go too far, trust me, I'll be right back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.